Hey guys! Today I'm going to be talking to you guys about what I wish I'd started doing earlier in my language learning journey, aka what I wish I would have started as a late beginner or when I was just entering intermediate stage. I think the things that I'm going to be talking about will really help you jumpstart your learning journey and help improve your proficiency in the language that you're learning. So first of all, please write more. I know you probably, if you're using a textbook or something, there's writing exercises, workbook exercises, whatever, etc. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about actually writing sentences that you made yourself. You know, this might do a throwback to when you have to write essays on random prompts, but that's exactly what I want you to do and exactly what I wish I had done a little bit more. So actually, when I was kind of entering the intermediate stage, I actually did make an effort to do this a little bit, but unfortunately, I kind of got lazy and so I stopped. Or I didn't completely stop, but I used to, if you go on my Instagram, which is actually where I started to document my progress, in the beginning you'll see I pretty much posted every single day with like a little paragraph about like a random topic that I wrote about, and like it was so difficult at the beginning, like when I first started. So that's what I'm saying, you have to start now, because the longer you wait, the more difficult it's going to be to start. You know, like you think of a sentence in your native language and then it's so hard to translate that to your target language. I had to search up words like left and right just to make a simple sentence, and so it was definitely very helpful for me to keep practicing writing very often. But as I mentioned, I kind of stopped doing that, and then once I, occasionally picked it up again, I found like each time it was pretty much like the difficulty level reset. So it's really important to, especially in the beginning, to really be consistent, because that'll really help build up your language skills and your writing skills, your vocabulary callback. So please, I encourage you to just write about anything. It can honestly be what you did during the day, your thoughts about favorite topic, your favorite movie, etc. You can just write about anything, really. Don't need to write any formal essay or like thesis or anything. Keep it casual, but definitely do it. Now this one is something that you can pretty much do at any moment, really, which is translating sentences, either yours or other people's sentences, into your native language. You don't have to write it out, just do it in your head. So for example, if you're reading someone's message that they sent you, just try to do an exercise and translate what that message would be in your native language. Or if you're reading like a comment online or an article or a random piece, try and do that translation in your head, and you'll probably find that it's not as easy as you think often, or sometimes you'll find that, you can easily do it, which is a really great, like a motivational booster, I guess. Either way, I think it'll help you work your brain a little bit more and get your brain a little more used to thinking in your native, or not in your target language, especially if you're at the more beginner stage. While your translation may not be the most natural way to say something or like completely correct, even if it's not 100% correct, it's still a good exercise, I would argue, to try and work your brain like this, just to help you get more used to the language. Something that I like to do is when I'm taking a shower, you have like these shower thoughts, right? So I'll be in the shower having my shower thoughts, and what I'll do is I'll translate those into my target language. I'll think something up in English, and then immediately I'll translate that into like Japanese or into Korean, which is always a fun thing to do in the shower. My showers are long anyway, so I have a lot of time to do that. Okay, so obviously in my opinion these are all important, but this one is really important, which is you gotta practice speaking. Like, for sure, practice talking and do it now. Unless you just started learning a week ago or today, or it hasn't been that long. Like, if you're kind of getting the hang of things, you learn the basic grammar, learn some vocabulary words, then you gotta start talking. I can't stress how frustrated I was that I didn't start earlier because I didn't feel confident enough to start. It's one thing to learn through textbooks, to read stuff. It's one thing to study, and it's another thing to put that in practice, especially in speaking. When I first started practicing speaking, it was probably 8 months into learning, which is when I had been in the intermediate stage for a little while. So I definitely could have started earlier. I should have started earlier. But my point is, when I first started, my very first call with someone was honestly terrible. Oh my god, like after that call, I was so frustrated with myself because I spoke super slowly, and my brain was just like stuck, like it was buffering for like 5 times, and probably more. But anyways, it was buffering so much. The words I learned and stuff just doesn't come up when you're kind of on the spot like that. So it really opened my eyes, and I was like, I have to start speaking more. I have to start practicing more because I'm so lacking in this area right now. So I don't care if you have to talk to a stuffed animal to practice speaking. If you really don't have anyone, I would argue there's a lot of resources for you to find someone to practice with, for free. So that's obviously option 1. Or if you have friends who can practice with you, that would be great as well. But finding someone online is very doable, and I would encourage you to do that to practice speaking. But if you really don't have someone to practice with, you don't have any excuses. You can practice with anyone, anything, basically, if you just talk. Obviously, conversation with someone else is better, but at the very least, please just practice talking. So now another super important thing is to consume a lot of native material. I already watch a lot of dramas and stuff, so in that aspect I was okay, especially with Korean. But reading material is super important. I wish I had started reading Korean more earlier. Now I've pretty much been reading webtoons and stuff, but I really wish I had started earlier because I think it's a really good learning tool. For Japanese as well, I actually didn't really watch any Japanese shows or anything, but I pushed myself to do that. I think watching shows or listening to podcasts or whatever is all super important. So if you're not really doing that right now, please do, because it's really important to hear how the language sounds, which will help you create more natural sentences, especially if you don't have a tutor or someone to talk to a lot. Definitely, listening material cannot be understated, but reading material is also super important, especially if your target language looks visually different. For example, English versus characters of Chinese and Japanese, or Hangul even for Korean. They look very different, unlike Spanish, which I studied for a bit in high school. If I look at an essay in Spanish, I'm not immediately overwhelmed just because the letters look similar to English, right? But if I look at an essay in Korean, my brain is I don't want to look at this anymore. So that's why it's important to read more, because your brain will get more used to that language and reading in that language, and soon you'll read a little bit more faster. Maybe if you open a web page in Japanese or something, you won't just go on overload. I feel like I rambled on a bit, but basically native content is important because it'll help you learn more natural ways of speaking, and then get your brain adjusted to reading in your target language as well. So now I want to hear from you guys. What are some things that you wish you had started earlier? Or if you're a beginner right now, how will you be incorporating these things into your learning plan? I hope you will, because I think they'll really help you in your language learning journey. So please share that with me. I'd love to hear your thoughts, have a discussion in the comments, and please give this video a like if you found it helpful, and please subscribe to my channel as well for additional language learning content in the future. Alright, see you guys next time!